I thought I'd try to find some poems that I have not read from this book before. Recently this year, I released 2 books of pheromemes, because if you can be attracted to somebody's pheromones, maybe you'd be attracted to their memes.
Yeah.
So these are things that were done in past shows. I am just going to read some of them. We'll see how this goes.
Attention aspirational customers, Jessica, your offer is ready to buy.
Jessica, your offer's still ready. This is called Our Futures. When the world lays in rubble and everything's gone, get out the bulldozer and haul out the trash. Because I'm here to tell you that we're starting anew. So stop asking for things and start working for things.
Yeah.
It's time to make choices, and it's time to lay claim to everything we've been blindly giving away. Because you know it's not time to take it all back. Take it in your own hands, people. Mold your own tools. If you're scared of someone taking charge in this country, take charge of yourself. And I'll take charge of me. Because only when we define our role in the future will we see the future we want and the future we need. We can let others define our futures for us, or we can spread the word, and we can make a difference.
Totally agree.
This one is called Mapping the Way to True Love. I've always taken charge and I've led the way, but even on my own, I accomplished more than anyone. I was invincible.
Was?
I was doing so well. I quit my job as an art director, and the second largest city in the States, kept paying for my Chicago apartment and traveled around the country by car. Until I was stopped at a light, and one car slammed into me, and then another. Then I fought for my life. And this sounds very sad, and I'm telling you, it was. But this was the point in my invisible life. This was just a part of it, because doctors from around the floors in the hospital read my records and called me Miracle Girl because of my miraculous recovery. But this was the first time in my invincible life when I felt alone, because the only thing missing from my invincible life was true love. You know the kind, because in this hectic modern world,
Customer Melissa, your offer's ready.
it's next to impossible to find your philosophical equal. So now, because I'm a journalist, forced to take the train because my car was totaled, I'd ask passengers questions. Tell me about yourself. Because my life was almost taken away, I wanted to learn everything about life I could. Let me at least vicariously live. Tell me something about yourself. And one man answered in the cold of January, while I kept myself covered in a coat, hat, scarf, gloves. He asked me what book I was currently reading. I said a philosopher's name. He said he knew their writing and that he had read their novels. Then he started naming their nonfiction books. And he even said that he read the lexicon of their philosophy. I stopped him. You're telling me you read a dictionary? He said yes. And the information was actually quite handy in his life. And on our first date, we talked philosophy more than half of the night, when not asking each other vague, tell me about yourself questions. And though we had only known each other for 2 weeks when Valentine's Day came, he decided to give me an expansive map of the United States because I had just traveled it. He carried a large tube to his work on Valentine's Day. A co-worker saw it, inquired. When he said he was giving this girl a map for Valentine's Day, the co-worker laughed. She'll hate that. Women want chocolate and flowers, he said. But when I got the map, I asked if it was okay if I kept it curled up until we had a home for it. And well, when I look up in my office, I see that map on the wall. And when I walk out of my office, I see a wall displaying his guitars. He likes that I wanted to display his music, and he likes that I'm a creative person with an engineering side, because he's an engineering person with a creative side. But that shouldn't surprise him. And it shouldn't surprise him that we were engaged 4 times longer than we dated. Yes, our dating was accelerated because not many people talk philosophy on their first date, and not many people realize, even before they start dating, that they can't be without any other. Because now that we found each other, we want to lock hands and scour those maps, because we want to see every part of the world together. Because when you get to this point, celebrating alone isn't celebrating, and living alone isn't living, when you could be with your one true love. Now I'd like to share a couple of short ones about hosting a poetry open mic, which I didn't share when I was actually back in Chicago with them, but I will share them with you. This one's called Kick Someone Out. We saw a man walk inside. We didn't know why he was there. She was divorcing him. She had a restraining order on him. I know she wasn't there, but still, he had no place here. So we confronted him inside before he got too comfortable. I hate to do this, but we think it's best if you go. I suppose at times like this, it can be tough being a poetry open mic host, because the foundation of our space is that we welcome anyone.
Yeah.
So it's tough when you have to take a stand and kick someone out to protect one of your own without the enemy ever saying a word. But then on the happier note, I've got ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Running a poetry open mic for years, I started every open mic by saying, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, because everyone was welcome at the cafe. Even after my Chicago open mic moved to a bar with a stage and anyone under 21 wasn't allowed, I still started every open mic with ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, because I believe to this day that sharing your poetry, sharing your art can bring out the kid in all of us. Creativity is on our side. It takes us to a mindset that although we may feel small, we can still take on the world. Definitely. Now I've got 2 more for you. This one is Xerostomia. I had to have that tie to you. I would draw your face since we're apart. I need to solve my xerostomia. So finally, when I got the chance, I took your photo in a crowded room. I know I'll never meet you, but I needed to have that record of you. I needed proof that you were real. This photo is truth. This photo is certainty. I developed the film, dodged and burned out all the people around you who didn't matter. Ancillary people. Nobodies to me. Scouring, printing your image on black and white printer. Everything be so crystal clear when everything's in black and white. They say I need independence from you, but I made more prints, bumped up the contrast, reduced you to mere 2-tone prints. I kept printing, kept plastering your image everywhere I could, until all I saw were images of you, and all I saw were replicas of you. I stared at copies of your face, and I wasn't free. And that's when I knew that I forgot the substance of you for me. One more short one for the finale, and thank you very much. This one's called You Were Meant. As a woman, you are meant to do big things, which you are.
That was it?
That was
That's
it?
really good. That's really good.
That was it.
I had positive too. That's good.
Thank you.